Do you know anybody who's even paying attention? I have a lot of times where I talk about, weak people. Well, I'm not talking about like weak in stature, weak in strength, or weak in intellect. I'm talking about weak-willed. People who would rather capitulate or just go with the flow rather than face any kind of conflict or hardship. Like, literally, I have spent the last 14 years living nothing but hardship because I said, fuck no, I'm not going to sit here quietly while this fucking country turns into a piece of shit. And because of the fact that I have a little bit of intelligence, okay, a lot of it, I've been yelling about things apparently way too early. Because everyone that's not as able to extrapolate does not see the forest through the trees until it's right on top of them, apparently. So, all of my chicken littling has gone unheard. In spite of that, I'm choosing to do this one more time. Stop wasting your time. Stop being weak-willed and stop fucking running away from the idea that you're gonna have to freaking fight. Otherwise, we're all boned. If we don't do something before they start acting, once they act, it's over. Because they won't act until they know they've got everything in the bag. They're slow, calculating psychopaths. They're waiting for the perfect opportunity. They're not waiting for, when they think they're going to win. They are literally funneling it into the exact fucking scenario in which they win without a fight or hands down decisively. We don't stand a chance. The bottom line of that is, once they've won, they can exterminate anyone they want to because that's their agenda in the first place. Quietly. Because if they've got you all separated into little cities and controlled little bunches, they can execute you without the other one knowing about it. And they will. Because they have... What else are we going to do about it? Because the way the world works, whether you want to believe it or not, is who has power. Who can kill the other one. Because in reality, if you're not a threat, you're a joke. That's the way human beings are. If you do not represent some kind of a threat, you will not be taken seriously. No matter how brilliant, no matter how able, and no matter how good of ideas you have. Or lack thereof, right? Unless you're extremely manipulative and smart enough to come up with a manipulative doctrine, you're screwed. And pretty much everybody comes along with you. But once they've got us separated into controllable groups, they just kill one by one by one. They can go through any cities they want to and just destroy people. And in reality, that's coming real soon. You got the stick and the carrot. The persuasive, right? The stick is, abuse, police brutality, all that shit. Martial law. The carrot is manipulating you in some way, that shape or form or fashion, to thinking that what you're doing is a good idea, or that someone is coming to save you, or that Orange Jesus is going to fucking change the world. He's not. He's a billionaire, for one. And for two, he works for the same people that fucking the Clintons and the fucking Kamala Harris and Obama and all them. They all work for the same people. And it ain't the people. It's the rich people. If Trump were seriously everything he says he was, they wouldn't have sent a 20-year-old with no military experience that was wearing the gun equivalent of a tap-out shirt. They would have sent a professional. And that professional wouldn't have missed. So therefore, that leaves one of two conclusions. Either it was a warning, or it was orchestrated by Trump himself. I'm not saying Trump did it. I'm not saying either way or one way or another. My suspicion is that it was a warning. Because they don't want to kill their own. That's like killing a person to them. Killing livestock and their pets and animals and shit like us, the low human beings, that's no big deal. But killing one of their own, one that they actually still consider a person, they're not going to do that lightly. They're going to try and tell him to stop. Or fall in line. And if he doesn't, then he won't make it to office if he's actually what he says it's about. If he's actually for the people, they won't allow it. And then you'll be thrust right back down into the fucking system where you still believe your vote counts. Like I said earlier 3 different times. Do you get life advice from your gerbil, your dog? If you're a farmer, do you get life advice from your crops, your livestock? And do you take their advice seriously? Didn't think so. They literally have an agenda called eugenics, which essentially means you're all dead. It's the same things that the Nazis did in the Holocaust. Eugenics. Look it up. So I guess what I'm saying is, who gives a fuck about the debate? Don't let them hype that shit up. Don't let them distract you. Don't let them convince you that it's the be-all, end-all. And definitely don't put all your eggs in the basket that your vote's going to matter. It doesn't matter who gets elected. In about 2 months, regardless of which side gets elected, the other side is going to be going to start a war, a riot. Let's be sure about that. Let's not bullshit ourselves. Because the way that this fucking society is ramped up, the people that lose their little fucking votes aren't going to take it sitting down. They're going to fucking get all bullshit, wah, 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 and they're going to fucking start riots and shit. Like, that's just a fucking fact. That's what divisive politics does. It's what partisan politics does. Y'all need to fucking stop your bullshit. Stop playing the fucking squawking head box game back and forth between each other and believe in your propaganda, because it's not. It's not for you. Not one of them fucking parties is for you. Not one of them politicians, not one congressperson, nobody. If they were, we wouldn't be in this situation. Let that sink in real quick. If we had leaders that actually gave a fuck and answered to us, we would never have ended up in this situation. It's not like we're losing the war or anything else. No, we're losing the corrupt politicians and billionaire fucking jackasses. There's very few of them. Sure, they have all sorts of money and everything, but they only got so many mercenaries they can purchase. Better to hit them when they're not fucking in full-blown extermination mode, when you've still got people you can rely on. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Why don't we just see what happens? Just wait it out. How about some of y'all tell me where some of these motherfuckers are at? Because that's your power. Information. Move information. Tell the truth. Get intel or whatever the fuck you want to call it into the hands of people that can eradicate them bastards before they eradicate us. Because the real plain and fucking simple fact of the matter is, if you ain't in their little rich man club, you ain't going to live. Or unless you want to be a slave. And they got robots that they're trying to make that have AI programming in them and everything, so they don't need you anymore. And you think that they're just going to let you live in some hippie utopia where you don't have to do shit and you just get a free ride? Why do you think they're building robots, dumbass? Cheaper. More efficient. No need for you anymore. How do you think that ends? Sit down and think about it. Worst case scenario, lose our jobs. And then what? How are you going to feed yourself if there's no money? Huh? You think they're going to give you free food? They do that as a gimmick to keep us placated so we don't come at them in fucking droves. That's it. That's the only reason social programs exist. They want to keep us from going batshit nuts and taking the whole thing over. Well, it's time to go batshit nuts. Period. In my opinion, right? No, it ain't opinion. That's a fact. Based on my opinion, right? No, that's too anti-American. I will say that it is just my opinion. But it's a well-educated opinion. Let me put it that way. I can still be wrong, but it's less likely than most. I just want you guys to fucking keep us free and alive, you know. I'm ready to fucking fight, but I don't really know where to go. And I won't be much use because I'm old and fucking broken. I've aged well, sort of, but I'm still broken. And I don't know. Mostly my will. So I'm in the same boat. But I'm the one that I'll basically just die on my own porch. Because I'm not going to fucking play their games. Everybody's worth something until they're not. And if you're working against your own best interests, this time you're doing a really, really bad idea for yourself, because I'm going to tell you right now, the end result of cowardice is death. Literal death. Not just for you, but for your family. And every other poor person and every person you've ever met. Unless you know rich people, which I doubt it. The price for sacrifice and bravery may also be death. The same amount, but there's at least a chance, a gamble, if you will, that's better than 0% chance that you'll be able, you'll be able to win your own freedom back in your lives, so that eugenics doesn't become the rule of law. I don't know about you. I'm pretty fucking far up the scale as far as genetic specimens go, but there's a problem. They don't want smart people. There's no more use for smart people in their new world order. Smart people argue. Smart people talk back. Smart people have better ideas, and smart people know how to be subtle and stir up shit and cause them problems. Stupid people, on the other hand, so long as they're obedient, stupid people are exactly what they want. And obedient, stupid people that are strong and healthy, oh yeah, there aren't very many of those, but they'll look for them. Fear is a good weapon, and they've got you buffaloed with religion for what fear doesn't handle. But I'm trying to tell you right now, definitively, if you keep going down this road and you keep believing in a system that has already taken you to the point of nearly dying as it is at the brink of starvation, you will be euthanized, sterilized, executed, genocided. And it will be no one's fault but your own, because people like me have been shouting at you, yelling at you, screaming at you, shaking your head by the sides of it and yelling in your face, dude, to listen. Do something, say something. Fuck it, point me in the right direction. I don't give a fuck. But we can't do this by ourselves. We need each other. So stop dividing each other. Stop believing the rhetoric, stop believing the propaganda, and stop fucking falling for the puppet fucking master fucking shit in your idiot squawk box. Your propaganda box. Because nothing that comes out of that motherfucker is true or beneficial to you, if it's fucking valid at all. Ever. Like, oh yeah, the new movie's coming out. That might be true. Skippy the dog did blah, 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 blah. No, yeah, see. It's invalid. News agencies are a puppet. Or a fucking mouthpiece. For a puppet. For a fucking goddamn oligarchic regime. You can't wait. You can't just, oh, it won't get to me. It will. It will. I forget the guy's name exactly, but in closing, I'd say the words of this I forgot his name, damn it, but he was a survivor of Auschwitz and the Holocaust. Said, when they took the mayor of my city, I didn't bat an eye. And when they took the man down the block, I saw no need to cry. When they took my neighbor, I tried to stay inside. But now they've taken my son, and now I sit and cry. They're knocking on the door now. It's time for me to go. I wonder if someone will find this note, or if anyone will ever know. See, the point of that is, you always think until you always think everything's going to be okay and that it'll turn around and it'll be better without you having to personally sacrifice for anything. Until you're the fucking next cattle in the chute and you see that hole puncher coming. Can't turn around then. Then you're committed. And you're stuck. And the only thing left to do is freak out or do whatever you want to do, but you're still getting that hole puncher in the back of the head. Don't be lemmings, don't be cattle in a chute. Stampede while you still can. Or be beef. Choice is yours. But I'm going to stomp the head off anybody fucking massa sends after me. I'm going to punch a hole in my head, you're going to have to do it with a rifle.